Hello learners, welcome back to the C programming lecture series. I'm Kirti Sharma. I'm working as an assistant professor in St. Andrews Institute of Technology and Management program. In this lecture series of C programming, today we will discuss the enumerated data type that is left over in the previous lecture that we will cover in this lecture now. That is user-defined data type. So we will cover this data type in this lecture, and after that we will discuss different types of operators that are used in the C. So with the help of examples, we will understand each and everything. Okay. So to start, I'm starting with the enumerated or enumerated type that is used in the C as a user-defined data type. So basically, enumeration or enum, you have to return the keyword enum. As like for the integers, you have int as a keyword that is a data type used. So floating point, float as a keyword that is used as a data type. So same as like that. For enumeration, enum is a data type. Enum is a keyword that you have to write as a data type name. Okay. So basically, what is the functionality of enum? As I've already mentioned, it's a user-defined data type that is used in C programming, right? So there are the three types of data types that we have used, like primitive or basic data type, then derived data types, and last is user-defined data types. So under the user-defined data types, under the primitive data types, you can also say non-primitive data types to the derived data types. So both are the same things, like non-primitive data types and or derived data types. So under the primitive data type, we have discussed like basic data types that are like int, predefined, that have the predefined size, meaning and all in the library of the C programming. Int, char, float, double. Okay, so with the like short, int, long, these are the subcategories: short, long, right? So you used assigned, unsigned. So these are all basic data types, right? Under the derived, like array, pointers, and function, like these are the array, pointer structures that we will discuss later as a topic. We have already mentioned. So these are the derived data types. Under the user-defined data types, we have to discuss the enumerated data types. Enum is a data type that is as an enumerated data type in which it is used to assign the names to integral constants. What it's mean? You have the integral constants and you have to assign the names to those integral constants. So names makes a program that is that much easy and to maintain, right? So I'm taking here an example. So what's the example here? In this example, we have written the program. We have a program here, and in that program, we are starting with the header file. This is a single line comment in which we have described the statement what we want to do in this particular program. So I've already mentioned by using the single line comment or multi-line comment, you can define your program. Okay, so like you can give the description or whatever you want to perform in the program, right? So enum is a data type that I mentioned here. Enum data type with the name of a variable that I've written here week. So under this particular variable name, we have assigned some names to the integral constant: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So week stands for the variable here. Enumerated data type, user himself or herself defining the values whatever can come in with this variable week, right? So it's totally up to the user. That's why it's known as user defined data type. Okay, so either you can take here year, so months of the year you can write here, anything whatever is a need of the users, they can assign the names of the integral to the integral constants according to the requirement. Okay, so this is the global declaration actually. So globally declared the uh, variable. So what do we mean by global declaration? During the we will study later with the functions also. So the whatever the variable function, like whatever the variable you're defining within the function, like within the curly braces, that particular variable is known as local variable, and outside that variable, outside the body of the function, if we are declaring any variable, it will always considered as global declaration. Okay, so inside the main entry point of the main function, there is a local variable. Okay, so now we can represent this particular variable week. I'm initializing here minimum week day, right? So day is indicating here like whatever we have written in this curly braces is a values. So days are indicating these points. Okay. So under the day we are assigning the value Wednesday. What it means? These are all the values uh, for the day. Okay. So day like by default integral constant will be there, like by default it will assign integral constant to all the assigned I will assign the name to all the integral constant. Like by default Mondays will represent as a 0. If we are not assigning the values to these names whatever we have written there, by default it will take as like this 0, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sequential order it will take. Okay, so int main that we have written here, right? So enumerated data type, it will show you the week, day, then day. In day we have assigned the Wednesday value here. So what should be there? Wednesday. We are printing here the integer value of the day, not it is character or string. I'm just assigning. I want to assign for what? Integral value. So what do you mean by integral value here? It will print here 2 because Wednesday value is 2 here. So it will print output will be 2 here. So I'm taking here integer as a main point and return 0 as a return. It will return something to me, right? So in this program further we have one more example here. Like enum is a data type, year is a variable. So we have declared it globally. Header file you will add yourself. I hope it's clear, like very common to use the header files in each and every program. No program will execute without any header file. Okay, so these are the names that we have assigned to the integral constant. Under these, we are here declaring a variable I through which we can call all these names. So with the help of I and for loop is there. We will discuss the loops later, but here the main purpose of the loop is only that we are just checking the values from initial point to the last point. So we are just initializing the I value with the gen and applying the condition here. I should be less than equals to December, and I increment in the I. This is the increment operator that we will discuss in the operator list also, right? So here we are printing the value of I, right? So what it will print for value for Jan? What should be the value? By default it will be 0. So it will print here 0. Then after what should be there? 1. For the fab, it will do the increment in the I value. There will come fab. Then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So same thing, it will print here up to 11. Okay, so it will print the 11 0 to 11 values here, right? With respect to January to December that we have assigned the variable, right? So it's totally up to the user what you want to use or not. So some special facts are there regarding initialization of enumerated values. First thing, you can initialize the two enumerated names with the same value. What it means? Here we have declared the state as a enumerated variable, right? So here we have taken the three names here, and we are initializing it at our own pace. So if you are not initializing, it will take like same previous one 0, 1, 2. If you are initializing with some value, it will take that value only. Okay. So here we have initialized these names with the values. So here main thing is that you can initialize the two names with the same value. It will not affect at all. Okay. So after all, we are just percentage is indicating integer values. I'm just printing these values here. So it will print what will be the output 1, 0, 0. That will be the output of this program. Okay. The special thing was that you can initialize two names with the same value. Okay. Value can be any. Okay. So here's second point regarding this special feature of the initialization of enumerated data type. Here, if you are not do not explicitly assign the values, it will take by default, like compiler will start from 0 and 0, 1, 2, 3. I have already mentioned it to you. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It will take by default these values of these names. Okay, by default compiler will take these values. So what it will print over here? What should be there? Thursday. For Thursday, we have 4 value, right? So the day number stored in D is. So whatever you have written in the double quotes, it will print as it is, and at the place of percentage D, the value of the variable D will place here. What is the value of D here? Thursday. And what will be stored here? Like 4 integer value of the Thursday. That means day value is D value is 4, right? So what will print over here? 4 will print over here. Okay. So next point is we can assign the values to some name in any order. There is no any compulsory, like you have to just start from the first name and then you have to assign all the values. It may possible you are assigning some values to some names and you are leaving someone, right? So in that case, if you are assigning the Sunday with 1, then you are leaving if you are assigning the Sunday with 1 and you are leaving the Monday, you are assigning any value, then you are assigning any value, random value to the Tuesday, then you are leaving the Wednesday. So it's up to the user, whatever the requirement, he can initialize these values. Okay, so now we are printing the values of all these names. So what it will print here for Sunday, what we have the given value, what we have given value here for Sunday, it will show 1, right? For Monday, what it will show? By default, it will do the increment in the previous value, right? It will add 1 in the previous value, because by default what it will take, like if we are not assigning the value 0, 1, 2, it was doing increment one by one now. So same here, if whatever is the value previous name, it will add to the 1 to show this value. So what will be the value of Monday? It will become 2, right? So for Tuesday 5 is mentioned here, so 5 will print here. For Wednesday, no values here, that means previous one plus 1, that means 6, so it will print 6. For Thursday 10 is there, right? So it will print 10. For Friday 11 will be there and this will become 12. So I'm just showing you the implemented part here in order to give you the clarity about it. So this is a program that we mentioned in the editor also. So after the execution of the program, if I'm executing all these things here, just I mentioned the same program here, right? I hope you are able to see this program. I hope. Yes, you are clear, right? So this is the output part that is available here. This is the output part, right? So here we have just written this program and taken the output that give you the more clarity. Same thing, Sunday is 1, Monday is 2, that I have already mentioned you. This is the output of this particular program. Okay. So next what we have, next main thing about the enum operator is that if the value assigned to the enumerated names, that must be some integral constant. You cannot write the values in the, like range should be from minimal possible integer values and to the maximum possible integer values, but you cannot assign any other data type. So the values of these names should be the integer only. So next thing that is important, all enumerated constants must be unique in their scope. So for example, the following program fails in compilation. So enumerated sets, like this, we have taken here two values, the enumerated. For enumerated, two variables are there, under which we have declared two values, working, filled, passed. So in int main, if we are not returning anything, like if you are not taking or printing these particular values of the enum data type, so it will show an affair to you. Okay, it will show an error to you. So if you want to implement it, you can. Okay, so you can try it yourself. So next, what we have here, next operators. So what about the operators? I hope enumerated data type is clear. If you are not clear, then you can implement these things. Whatever I've told you, just rewind the video and take the recap and implement the same in the editor of the C editor. You will get the better clarity about it. Okay. So what about the operators here? So basically, operators. You already use the operators from your initial point, like. So there is a rich set of the built-in operators in the C language is available. So we will discuss the different operators. What is an operator basically? An operator is a symbol, right? So that tells the compiler to perform a certain mathematical or logical manipulation. For example, you already know about some operations, like if you want to add two numbers, you use the plus operation, right? So these are the operators, okay? So addition operation you will apply by using the plus operator. So operators are used in the program to manipulate the data and variables, okay? So we will do the work on data and on the variables and the data, whatever is stored in those variables, and apply the operators to get the resultant values. So we will discuss the different operators here that are here. Like there are different types of the operators. The list I was assigned here. We will discuss them one by one. So first of all, arithmetic operators are there: relational operator, logical, bitwise, assignment operator, conditional operator, and some special operators are there that we will discuss at last. So one by one we are covering this. First we have the arithmetic operators, right? So what do you mean by arithmetic operation? All of you know about the arithmetic operation, right? What it is, like if you want to add two operands, what is the operand here? We are talking about the variable name itself, right? If you want to add two numbers, then you have to write a plus b. Then here a and b are the operands. A comma b are the operands on which you are applying the operation, and plus is the operator here, right? So through which you want to perform the addition on these two operands, or you can say variables here. Okay, same thing for the minus, subtraction, multiplication of two operands, divide, then this percentage symbol. This is known as a remainder, used for the to find the remainder of the division. If you will divide the two values, so whatever will be the remainder, it will show the remainder to you. If we are using this particular symbol as an operator in between two operands. Okay, so this is increment operator. What do you mean by increment and decrement operator? If you will write 2 times plus symbol and 2 times minus symbol, it will indicate the increment operator and decrement operator. Okay, so increment operator basically increases the integer value by 1. Whatever is the value of the present variable, it will do increment by 1 in the value of that particular variable. Same for the decrement variable. Decrement operator decreases the integral value by 1, doing the minus 1. Okay, so next we can just take the example to understand these things in better way. So if I will just perform shortly. I am just performing this thing shortly over here. I'm just updating the values. In this program, we have added here, like in the editor and num1, we have entered the values of num1, num2, and sum are three variables of integer types. So to add two numbers, we need three variables. First we will take the input, and after that we will assign the values. So okay, so during the execution time, we have separately assigned the values here, num1 and num2 as a 5 and 8. I have already assigned. So the values of num1 I have assigned the 5, and number of 2 I have written as the 8 as the compile time. Okay, so after the compilation, you will get the sum as addition of two numbers. This is the output that is mentioned over here. Okay, so numbers is shown here. That is the 13. Okay, so I have displayed one. In the same manner, if you want to apply the multiplication arithmetic operation, you have to write the multiplication here, and here you have to write the multiplication of two numbers, and you will print the same variable here. So it will show you the multiplication. So here it will be the output, like multiplication of two numbers is, like I have entered 5 and 8 as a number. So 5 8, so 40 will be there, right? So division and subtraction you can do continue as like this, right? So we have the here we have program arithmetical. For the arithmetical operation we have discussed over here. So next here we have the relational operator. So what about the relational operator? Basically, relational operators are used to come for the comparison purpose. If you want to compare the two operands, the values of the two operands that you have entered, for that purpose, you can use the relational operator. If you want to compare the two numbers are equal or not, then you can use the equals two times. In the same manner, if you want to use not equals, then this is not equals, greater than, less than equals to, greater than equals to. You can use all these operators, relational operators, in order to check the, like, compare the two values. Like if you want to check, we can use it if here, if is a statement here that we will discuss later, like if this then this. So if and then in English you used very frequently. I hope its meaning is very simple. Like if you want to compare two values, so I'm writing here the condition. The value of A is equals to value of B. What it means? We are printing here like both are equal. So values of A and B are equal. Else is for otherwise not equal. Simple. So this is a operation that is used for the comparison. That is equivalent operation here. Relational operator. If you will write less than equals to, it will show you the, like, A is smaller than B, to compare the two values, like which one is smaller, which one is greater. And you can also do the comparison in more than two variables also by using the logical operators. That is the next only, like AND operator. You can use the like if you want to compare the three variables. So like A is less than B, then you want to check A is less than C or not. So in that case you can mention the AND operator. If you will apply two times AND, it will become as a logical AND operator. Same thing you want to check, like A is less than C. So at that time it will check both the operation. In logical operations or in digital electronics like subject, you have already studied like what is the meaning of the AND operator. So logical AND means both the conditions that you have written here should be true. If both are true, then only the resultant value will become true. Otherwise, it will be false. Okay. So you can do the practice for the same. Like you can apply the relational operators in order to compute or compare the values. Okay. Variable variables of values of the variables. Okay. So next we have the logical operators. We have already discussed the logical AND operator here. So if you want the comparison and in between the more than one conditions you want to apply, so you can use the logical operator AND. In the same manner, OR operator is here. What is the difference between and OR here? So basically, AND operator is used AND operator is used for the compulsion, like A and B. That means both should be true. After that, you can say answer is true, otherwise false. Okay. So OR is set like logical operation. Logical operation, or it is denoted by two symbols, separator symbols. So it will become true. So on the basis of which thing we are saying these are true or false, we have supposed to here the values of A and B for the example here. So we have considered the value of A as 1 and B as 0. So that's why we have taken the values here. A value is 1 and B value is 0. This is 1 is for true, 0 is for false. 1 true, 1 false. That means answer is false for the AND operator. Why is it so? Because for AND operator both should be true. Both must be true. If one of them will be false, then resulted value will be false itself. So okay, so 1 is showing the true and 0 is showing the false. So resultant if it come as 0, that means false is there, right? Logical operator, value of A is 1, value of B is 0. Logical operator means in both the both the values, one should be true. If either A is true or B is true, then then also you can say the resultant value will be true. That means one only, right? Both are true, it's okay. But one of them are true, is true, it's also okay. But both should not be false for satisfying the condition of logical OR. Logical NOT operator always says like this is a symbol to represent the logical NOT operator. This one, exclamation symbol. So if you are writing the symbol in front of any variable, it will show you the alternate value. What it means? What is the value of A? Value of A is 1. So NOT of 1 will be 0 and 0 stands for what? False. That means false. Right? You can apply the same things in the practical implementation also. So in bitwise operator, what it means, like there is a difference between logical and bitwise operator. Little bit difference is there. First thing, here single AND is used. Single AND used means single AND used here. That means bitwise AND. If you are using in the operator list two times AND, it means logical operator, and single AND, bitwise AND. There is a difference between bitwise AND logical AND. Logical AND will check the conditioning for the two things. Here it will also check, but in the different manner. We will take the example to get the better understanding. Same for the bitwise OR. If you are writing the two time separator, that means logical OR, and single time, that is bitwise OR. This is executive exclusive OR, bitwise exclusive OR, that's also known as XOR. You have studied somewhere, right? Left shift and right shift. So we are taking the example to get the better understanding of this bitwise operators. As its name indicating, it works on bits. So what are the bits? 0 and 1. These are the bits now. So bits wise operator indicating like it will work on the bits only. Okay. So it performed only on the integers like 0 and 1 only. So you cannot apply these operators on the floating or double value. It's a point to note over here. Okay. So next we have example to get the better understanding regarding and or bitwise and bitwise or XOR and bitwise left shift and right shift here. So here in this example we have taken the values of the A and B and we have applied here A bitwise and B. So 0 0, that means 0, that means both are the false, answer is false, right? So bitwise and is indicating here like if one bit is true, like one false, then also it will show 0 answer. What it's mean, like both must be true to get the resultant value as 1, right? So in or, if either one of them are true, then it will show you true. So here that logical and or will so you can apply those on the conditions itself. Here you cannot apply on the combination like compound statements. You can apply it over the logical and operator, bitwise and bitwise or only on the bits. So bits can perform this kind of operators, and logical operators you can apply on the compound statements also, right? So to check the conditions of multiple conditions and all. Okay, so here XOR. What it's a XOR? Either of the one in between the two variable values is true, then you can say the resultant value will be true. So both should not be false, both should not be true. So one should be true and one should be false. Either one can be possible. Then only then you can say resultant answer is true, right? So next we have shift operator, very important operators, left shift and right shift. We have example here for the shift operator. If the value of A is this and B is this, what it's mean here? This is the binary representation that I've represented here. 000 1 000. B is 2. So A left shift operator and this is right shift operator. So what this operator indicates here, you have to shift the A by 2. Okay, so what is the value of B? 2. So what is the value of this one? So you have to left shift the value of A by 2 bits. Here everything is on bits now. So I have written here 0 0 0 1 0 0 0. So on the left hand side you have to move, like this is a box here. I'm writing it into the box form, right? So you have to shift this 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, whatever it is. So I'm shifting it outside, shifting it outside. 2 bits I have just discarded, right? But it's mean this bit will come over here, then 1, then 0 0 0. So shift each and every bit in the left hand side by 2, right? So whatever is like blank spaces are there and spaces available according to the space of the A variable, so we will insert 0 0, right? So we have shifted the bits in the left direction. Whatever we will get here, that will be the resultant value, right? So what it will show in the integer form here, so you can write the integer with respect to the binary numbers like 2 raised to power 0, 2 raised to power 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That means it's a representation of 32, right? In decimal it will represent the 32, this particular binary string, right? Right shift, you have to shift each and every bit on the right hand side. In the same question, if we will shift 0 0 outside and this will come at the first bit, it will become the second bit and so on. So output will be 2 only, right? For this particular right shift. So you have to shift the bits according to the value of B here. So you can directly write the value here or you can take the value with the help of variable. Okay, it's up to the user. Okay, so this is the left shift. In left shift you have to shift the bits of the A in the left direction. How many bits? Whatever is given here. So here 2 is given. So I have shifted the 2 values, 2 bits on the left side and 2 bits on the right side for the same A. I hope it is clear to all. So we are moving on the next thing here, that is assignment operator. What means of assignment operator? Assignment operator is used to assign the values, right? It's also shorthand operators, you can say here. So this is an assignment operator. Like if you're writing a equals to b, the value of b you can assign on the value of a. So right hand side you have to assign the operator whose value you want to insert in the left hand side of the value. So common sense it is actually. So you have already seen like a equals to 2. What it means, 2 is a value that is you are assigning to the a. It's very simple thing. So you can write the values as like this. So any value will be can be there in b, and that you can assign over the a itself, right? So plus equals is indicating if you have written this as like this, a plus equals b. This is same as like this, a equals to a plus b. You are adding the two numbers of a plus b and storing it back to the left hand side variable. So same for the leftover resultant values. So you can use the shorthand for these particular operators, like in plus for addition, for subtraction, multiplication, division and remainder. So for all the things, if it is same, like if you will write a minus equals to b, what it means, left hand side whatever is written you have to store back into the same by subtracting the value of b from it, right? This is the meaning of this particular shorthand assignment operator. Okay, so I hope it is also clear. You can implement the same in the program partners, editors. So next we have conditional operator. It's also important one to note it down. So it's also known as ternary operator or this operator, right? So it is actually the if condition that we will study later in order to make the better decisions. So how it will help to take the better decision? First syntax it is written over here that you can write in the program part also. So first you have to write the expression for you which you want to check it out. Like I'm checking the condition of A is greater than B or not. So I've written the condition here. Then I put the question mark. Is A greater than B? So if it is true, then it will take the first expression value that is separated by the colon here. If it is false, then it will take the second value. Okay. So I'm writing here A and B. What it mean? Like printf you can use here. Printf A and printf b, right? What it's mean, like percentage d you can mention here. You already know the syntax of the printf. So basically I'm just trying to make you clear about the conditional operator. If it is true, then it will show the value of a. If it is false, then it will show the value of b here. Okay, so that's why there are the three things that you have to perform, on which you have to work out here. So that's why it's known as ternary operator. Okay, so this question mark indicates here you are putting some query. If this query is true, then you have to go on the expression 2. If it is false, on the next. Then you have to move on to the next. So it is the best decision making process. By using the ternary operator, you can use it. Okay. So some special operators are there, like and. If you are using the single and with the variable name only, like, so this is known as single variable. With the single variable, if you are using this single and percent in between the two variable names, it will show you the bitwise and operator. If you will use the two times and between the two variables, it will show the logical and. So there is a difference, so no need to confuse there. Like if you are using the single and operator with the single operator, the size of the variable that is assigned in the memory location, to the memory location. So this symbol is indicated the pointer. So pointer will indicate, like it will show the address of the part. Like we will discuss this thing later. So actually one more thing here I want to update. This will show you the address. This ampersand show you the address, and size of operator is used to give, like size of operator is used to give the size, and this is a operator single and to give you the address of that particular a variable, which whatever is there in the memory. So memory address it will show. Okay, so it was all about the operators. In the next lecture we will discuss some more practice problems on the operators and discuss the prioritized ways, like how they are performed operators on the C programming. Okay, so till then, stay tuned with the C programming lecture series. Thank you. Have a nice day.